Aloha to the beautiful collective out there, yo. So, we have to talk about the current state of affairs, in particular, the police brutality and the white supremacy. All right, now, I want to first and foremost say I don't always have all the right words or I don't always have all the solutions, right? But in this video, I want to try to address and talk about some possible solutions and things that can help us get by short term and long term, all right? Now, I also want to say, to be quite honest, I think that sometimes I do take these situations for granted uh, from my background, right? So, what I mean by that is I grew up in Tacoma Park, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., nation's capital, in an extremely um, racially, culturally, and ethnically diverse area. All right, so most of my best friends, they didn't look like me and were black, right? So I think, again, I take racism for granted a lot of times, to be quite honest, and think that everyone thinks like me, that we're all brothers and sisters and humans, H-U-E, right? So that's one part of it, right? Another part of it is that I've unfortunately had, experienced many encounters with the police starting at a young age. Unfortunately, my mother was a victim of domestic violence for many, many years, basically my whole growing up with different people. And we watched the police almost always treat her like the perpetrator instead of the victim, right? So just right there in our instance, we got to see. Now, to compound that, I would always hear from friends in high school of the police beating them and then letting them go, right? So it was a blessing and a curse to not get the help, but also we knew where you can't lay your trust, right? Where this is something that, unfortunately, this is why we have to make this video, because I always forget, often forget, there are many people that didn't come up like me, right? There are many people that grew up purposely and segregated themselves in white neighborhoods and white schools, right? And then there's people that have trust for the police because they've had great encounters with them in their beautiful neighborhoods and whatever the case may be, right? So the discussion has to keep going, right? So I'm also a firm believer, or, I'm not big on the term good cop, right? Because I feel that, I'm not saying always, right? Of course, there's some good cops out there, but just be honest. Honestly speaking, when is the last time you saw a good cop speak up in front of, a group or whatever the case may be for, in terms of bad cops? So when is the last time you saw a good cop speak out on bad cops, right? I've almost never seen it, right? So just the same as an extension for myself, I would be in the same boat if I didn't speak up, right? About the other crooked white supremacists and things of that nature, right? So anyway, let's get into some possible solutions, right? I know I don't have all the answers, right? But it's just some things that I think can help us, put a stop to this, right? And also help us get through in the immediate short term, right? So first of all, I think one of the best ways that we can all sock it to the powers that be is to vote with our dollar, right? These powers that be, these white supremacists, the main thing they care about is the power, which correlates with the money. The money and the power correlate, right? So this is how we can really sock it to their pocket. This is how we can really stick it to them, by socking it to their pocket, right? So we can vote with our dollar. So it's hard to be a revolutionary and then you're still supporting, the people that you're trying to see change from, right? So on a day-to-day, we can vote with our dollar. The best way, honestly, would be to pull all of our money out of the banks. But I know that's probably something that we're all not ready for, but on a day-to-day, we can at least vote with our dollar, right? Another way we can do, and it's something I've been trying to do forever now, since I told you from my background, and we formed distrust with the police, is policing the police, right? So we have to keep the accountability, but it doesn't just lie with the police, right? So we have to keep any kind of form of racism accountable. We have to call it out. We have to speak on it, right? This also has to do with talking to our elders, right? So I saw a video of a white girl. She's trying to hip her parents, So these are generational curses, unfortunately, the cycle perpetuates, there. So we need to stop the cycle, and we can do so also by talking to the older generations, okay? I also feel it's important for me to speak out because there is a lot of rightful, justified mistrust in black people towards white people. They don't know who the fuck to trust, and quite honestly, almost nobody knows who to trust, but most important in particular, Black people don't know who to trust right now, in particular having to do with white people. So white people, you need to come out and show your solidarity, show your stance, or else, you know, you may be seen as something that possibly you're not, you know, just from not speaking out. Now, I know it's not everybody's place to speak out. Everybody has different roles, but speak out and act how you can to show your solidarity, I think is very, very important, right? Now, another way that I think can all help us get through right now is fortifying ourselves holistically, okay? So making sure that our mind, our body, and our soul are extremely strong, all right? But most importantly, I think more than probably important than any of that, is being emotionally strong, emotionally savvy, and having emotional stamina and emotional endurance, okay? Because you also cannot be a revolutionary if you're a reactionary, right? These are what these people want. They want you reacting, right? This is why they show you these murders over and over and over again on videos on TV, and it will allow you to share them, but yet you can't share certain things on your platform, you know, having to do with different herbs or health related things or you know, things like this, right? So there's a reason they beat these videos into your head and allow them to be shown and shared, because first of all, to my beautiful black people, they know how strong you are, right? So this is a form of them trying to break you and fuck over your subconscious to have you submit, right? And think and take your power away, right? So we can't let our emotions get the best of us, or else then we're just like a puppet on a string. If we let our emotions get the best of us and we're reactionary, then we're not even in control of ourselves, and somebody else is in control of us, and they're getting what they want, right? Racism is what? Essentially, racism is division and separativeness, right? So that's what they want. They want you to take the bait, and they want to divide us because they know united we stand, but divided we fall. Divide and conquer is their main motive. So we got to stay under control of our emotions just for that alone, so that, you know, we don't give in to them and let them win on that basis alone, right? So it's very important, I think, to, you know, be in control of your emotions. Now, I'm not telling you to bottle up your emotions. I'm not telling you to stay too aloof. I'm not telling you to not share. But get out your emotions however you want to get them out, all right? That's on you, whatever resonates with you. But at a certain point, we have to move towards solutions, right? And not let our emotions get the best of us again, or else we're just a puppet on a string, right? So, I think it's very important, again, to talk to the elders on both sides. White people, we need to talk to our elders that are probably stuck in that generational cycle of racism and white supremacy, right? The younger ones who are forming more together with the generations, where the older people are still stuck in a rut. Now also, I think it's important to talk to elders that went through things like the civil rights movements, and also people that, you know, maybe have more special trainings. Now, if you're going out there and protesting, shit is getting chaotic, excuse my language, but there's a mixed bag of peaceful protests mixed with, you know, cops trying to instigate, mixed with people being shipped in from out of town to cause ruckus and shit. So there's a lot going on, and there's a lot at play. So I want y'all to be very, very careful if you are out there protesting, all right? To the women and children, be very careful if you're gonna go out there. I really believe that, you know, the mothers and the women and the children, maybe now, especially at nighttime, is not the place to be going out, all right? Because the police are trying to instigate, and it's getting real sticky out there, all right? So that's why I say talk to the elders that have been through this, because you don't want to just go out there, you've never protested in your life, and then you might increase your chances to be a victim, and we don't need any more victims right now, right? So police the police, keep the discussion going, not just the police, racism in all areas, at your workplace, at the store, at a parking lot, wherever the case may be. We need to hold everybody accountable. That's the only way we can really have change, right? Here's a good, you know, metaphor that I've seen, and this is from the white people that are watching, right? Yes, it's a no-brainer that all lives matter, right? But now is not the time for that shit, right? If your house is not directly on fire, we don't want to hear that shit, right? We're trying to help those whose house is directly being burnt down. If your neighbor's house was being burnt down, would you go help them? I hope so. Or would you be worried about your own fucking house before you worry about putting out the fire that is immediate, right? So now is not the time for all that shit. You should be happy, white people, that you do not have a movement, right? You should be happy that you don't have a movement attached to your life, because that means that essentially your life is more safer in most instances, in most circumstances. So we need to stand in solidarity. All right, we need to call out the racism wherever we see it, not just in the police, but we need to also police the police as well, as many ways as we can, on top of just recording them, right? We need to call out all the fuckery that we see. We need to keep the discussion going. Again, I don't have all the solutions. These are just some things that I think maybe can help us, and it can help put a stop to these situations, right? So just to recap, I want everybody to be real safe. If you're out there protesting, shit is getting wicked. There's a lot, there's bricks being laid. I want to be very careful that nobody's out there taking any bait, because again, they want this separation, they want this division, right? And there's a lot of bait that they're throwing out there. Again, there's random bricks, just piles all over the country. The police are smashing shit out. So you guys need to be very, very careful and keep your head on a swivel, right? So I want you to know, all right, and I want to keep the discussion going in the comments, because again, I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the right things to say. I'm just trying to speak up and use my platform to help promote solutions more so, right, than we can right here in this video, and then that I know and that I can speak on, right? But I want you to know, all right, to any beautiful black people watching this, right, I want you to know that if you feel like you do not have any other white allies, you have at least one single one right here with me, right? And I'm sure you have others that can chime in this beautiful collective that we form right here, all right? So something else I want to include is an ancient Hawaiian prayer. It's called the Ho'oponopono. It's a forgivingness tool. It consists of 4 lines which go, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, and I love you, right? So this is a powerful tool if you explore it more deeply, right? So I want to say the Ho'oponopono for anybody who's endured any white supremacy, any racism, any police brutality, any kind of fuckery of that nature, right? I know I can't change the world with this Ho'oponopono. I know I can't change everything that you've been through, but it's just a start, and it's just the least that I could do. And it goes, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, and I love you. All right, again, I know that can't change anything, but that's just from me to anybody who has occurred the fuckery, These are not your birthrights. Your birthrights are peace, harmony, abundance, prosperity, all right? And we're gonna all take back our birthrights, all right? I promise you, all right? So just to recap very quickly, all right? I think it's very important that, one, we hold everybody accountable, all right? We police the police. We fortify ourselves holistically, mind, body, and soul. We make sure we have our emotions under control, or else we're gonna be a puppet on a string. We're gonna be reactionary instead of a revolutionary. We're gonna fall right into the bait that they want, because racism is division. That's what they want. So they're trying to divide and conquer us even more so right now. So again, united we stand, divided we fall. Divided we are conquered. You understand? So let's also vote with our dollar, right? As much as we can on a day-to-day basis. Let's try not to support the conglomerates that are largely based upon white supremacy, and those white supremacists are at the top of these boards and everything, right? And what else do we got? Keep the conversation going, and let's talk to our elders, both white and black. All right, we can get game from the elders that have been through civil rights movements and things like that, and we can try to give game to those that are still stuck in that unfortunate, wicked cycle of white supremacy and racism, right? So again, I don't have all the perfect words, I don't know all the solutions, but I'm just trying to open up a dialogue more so on a platform where hopefully we can have lots of perspective in the comments, right? And you know how I get down even more perspective in the caption we're gonna share. So I just hope to share a little light, and I hope that this can help anybody know that I am standing in solidarity. And again, white people, I think it's very important for you to speak up in whatever kind of way that you can to show your solidarity. It may not even have to be you literally speaking, okay? But maybe go out and stand arm in arms. Maybe it can be a smile. Maybe, it can be different ways, because I know everybody expresses themselves differently, and not everybody exercises their throat chakra like maybe I do, right? So, again, I don't know. We're all going to get through this, though, and this is a major cusp of change that we're on the verge of, right? So we could transmute this into a positive, all right? If we all come together and we stay smart, keep our head on a swivel, fortify ourselves, don't let our emotions get the best of us, don't bottle up the emotions. I'm not saying that, don't get it twisted. And also something I want to say, be careful the videos that you're sharing. If you know that people are already aware in your circle, they probably don't need to be traumatized anymore by any videos of anybody getting murdered, right? Share that shit with your friends that you think are asleep or whatnot, right? be very careful about further traumatizing people, because you know people are already going through enough, right? And especially what I mean is black people going through enough. So let's be very, very careful. Let's be careful when we're protesting. Shit is changing, shit is getting chaotic, all right? So do what resonates with you, but just be very careful out there. I think you should stay in large groups and large numbers, especially if you're going out and protesting. If you're going out with your family just to do anything, I recommend now is the time to stay in numbers, right? And as a whole, staying in numbers, right? Because again, one last time, united we stand, divided we fall. So, boy, I don't know. You know, I really don't know what else to say right now. I'll continue to think on it, try to continue to listen. All right, that's what we also need to do, white people, is listen. Because we think we got all the fucking answers. Well, often we don't, because we didn't come up like the other side did. So how the fuck can you have all the answers if you've never even been through some of the shit that people are going through, right? So open up your ears, listen and learn, and then relay the shit that you have learned, right? That's very, very important, right? So I hope this all makes sense. Again, let's keep the conversation going. White people, listen up, learn. Now is not the time to be talking about All Lives Matter or your house. Direct the attention where it needs to go right now. Those that are on fire. Unfortunately, black people have been on fire for many, many years now. And again, black people, I want you to remember why this is. It's because you're extremely strong. All right, that's why a war has been waged against you for many, many decades now, because they know how strong you are and they want to try to vampire some of your energy and take some of your energy and power and strength away. So keep that in mind, all right? If you're down, you know, at times, know that it's because you're so extremely strong. And at the end of the day, they can't do nothing with you, all right? They can't do nothing with you. That's why they're going through all these tactics, right? So I love y'all. I stand in solidarity with you. I always have, I always will. And it's important to let that be known at this time, right? So much, much love and respect, even more perspective in the caption. One more time with the whole Ho'oponopono as we get out of here. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. On behalf of any foul ass people that have just came up in a wicked fucking mindset, all right? That shit is on the verge of changing, promise you, all right? Let's not let this be a reoccurrence of the civil rights or anything, and now we're back in the same fucking boat, right? So let's not let any of this fuck shit ride. Let's continue to be strong. And let's keep our head on the swivel and stay emotionally strong, holistically strong, vote with our dollar, all right? And let's continue the discussion right now in the caption, in the comments, all right? Please chime in, people of all races. I wanna hear solutions, positivity, and love, okay? That's what I wanna see in the comments, please. Let's just keep it for solutions and positivity and love. Sharing love and sharing perspective and sharing solutions, all right? Because we can all work together to form more solutions. There's not just one solution, we need solutions, plural. Much, much love and respect, even more perspective in the caption. I love y'all dearly. What do you think?
It was good. It was really long.
How long?
18 minutes.
18 minutes?
Yeah, you were
It won't
going
let me
in.
go over 50?